All praise to the Most High Creator and Sustainer of life throughout the universe. Thank you for your presence always, your prayers, your kind words, your good thoughts, and your good deeds. I complain sometimes about some of the things that we don't do, but I appreciate all of the churches and organizations that help people in whatever way that you can. And I'm thankful and prayerful for our children, our students who are going to college and going to training programs and who are learning new skills, and those who are trying to live a more productive life. So I'm thankful for you as well. However, I am concerned about life. I am a mental health patient, and I've been concerned about life all of my life as far as I can remember, at least as far back as the third grade. And I'm trying to get better at controlling my emotions that come about. Good evening, as a result of my illnesses, but these things bother me deeply about life, and particularly my concern for the poor, and especially those who are poor in the churches. And I was born poor, and I have been coming uphill all the way, me and my siblings, thank God. So we know a little bit about poverty, but it is a paradox to me to see so much poverty in the churches. Hello, it is Saturday, February 21st, 2026, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Welcome to Church Talk Unlimited with James Paul Berry. Today we're going to talk about the topic, I didn't know it would be like this. I didn't know it would be like this. And when I say this, I'm talking about the processes that I have gone through since becoming a Christian, since becoming a disciple, since becoming a consistent believer. I didn't know it would be like this. And I think, good evening, I think, be safe out there. Very good. I think that when I say that I didn't know it, I'm talking about life. I didn't know life would be like this in Christ. I thought, and I think maybe some of you, many of you, maybe all of you at some point, that like I thought, that were going to be a different way I would live in the church. Those powerful things that the preachers preached and that I read and that I memorized, I really believed those things. And there were times when, of course, we learned that we didn't have the ability, or I didn't have the ability to do some of those things. But nevertheless, some great things can be done and should be done. When I was baptized into the church, I thought I had it made. I thought I had made it. Made what? Made the right decision so that I could be the best that I could be in the church. And it was such a moment in my young life, 20, 21 years old, to hear an invitation from Jesus through the preacher. Matthew 11, 28 through 30, excuse me, is where we're going to get this thought. I didn't know it would be like this. I didn't know life would be like this in Christ. Matthew 11, 28 through 30 says, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly at heart, and you shall find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." I didn't know it would be like this because when I was baptized, let me tell you what I did. I heard that Jesus had been killed on the cross, buried, and raised from the dead on the third day. I believed in that. I made up my mind I was going to change and live according to the standard of Jesus. I confessed that with my mouth in front of the church. And then I was baptized in water. I was covered up in water, not sprinkled. I did not have water poured on my head, but I was actually buried in the water. So I went through that. And when I came up, I was so happy. And I walked away from everything that I knew. Didn't know much, but I walked away from it. At least I walked away from the perspective that I had before my baptism. Now I'm walking behind Jesus. Come unto me. It's always nice to be invited by nice people. And I had never known or heard of anyone in the whole world. And I knew some wonderful people, including my family. But I never known anybody nicer than Jesus. And to be invited, come unto me, all you that labor, whoever you are, come unto me. Jesus has invited everybody. I've always been looking for love, and love as I am, and love that will help me to be better. So come unto me, all you that labor, those who are trying to be what they should be, even though they don't know, because I certainly didn't know what that was. I would fake it sometimes. But now I'm saying I don't have to fake it. Jesus says, come unto me, all you that labor, all of you with brain noise. Come unto me, you that labor and are heavy laden. You're burdened down with life's problems. That's what I'm thinking now. I'm in the church now. This is what I'm thinking. I didn't know it would be like this. The way it is, the way it actually is. And I will give you rest. I didn't even know what the rest would be, but I wanted it. I was tired, I was weary, and it didn't seem like I was really going anywhere as a person. So I took my chances. Take my yoke upon you. Who doesn't want rest? But with this rest, he says there's a yoke that comes. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. For I am meek and lowly at heart. There were times when I didn't learn of Jesus. I learned of the church. I learned church behavior. I didn't know it would be like this. I didn't know I had to figure my way through, because I'm hearing judge not, but if you don't make some judgments, you'll never get anywhere. Even to make the decision to take the yoke of Christ was a judgment. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly at heart. Do we even know what that is? I know I didn't know what it was. I'm not sure what it is, but I think it has something to do with humility. And how dare I would ever say I need to be more humble until I first learn what it is. One writer said, humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. When I would hear those scriptures, my heart would just be filled with joy, because I'm saying at some point, God is going to exalt me. I didn't know it would be like this. Take my yoke upon you. Matthew 11:28-30. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly at heart. Who wants to be meek and lowly at heart? And you shall find rest for your souls. Sometimes we have some of the nicest food and clothes and technologies, companies, but somehow we don't have rest for our souls. And my problem is, I didn't know it would be like this. I thought Jesus was going to part the waters for me. I thought Jesus was going to take care of all of the tricksters and the tricks. But no, he says, take my yoke upon you. They tried to trick Jesus. We get lost sometimes in our own thoughts, in the thoughts of others. This biblical Jesus I'm talking about. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. And to be honest, I always wondered, Lord, with all that you've gone through, how could your burden be light? Why come to Jesus? Well, we're invited to approach Jesus, and Jesus, according to John 1, verses 1-17. I'm not going to read all of that. But some of it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God, and all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light, that was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. He came unto his own, and his own received him not, but as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name, which were born not of blood, not of the will of flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory as the glory of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. And it goes on to talk about John the Baptist bearing witness, and we believe that he was talking about Jesus. So this Jesus who has this beginning with God, was God, invites us to come because we are burdened. And I don't see this new software is not showing me my time, you guys. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't want to go too long. I'm going to cut it off in a few minutes. I hope you guys are hearing me better than last. Hello, Eunice, as well. I hope you guys are hearing me much better than last time. I'm trying to tweak all of this stuff. But just looking at the power that Jesus has in the Bible, why are we such weaklings? And this is where my subject comes. I didn't know it would be like this. I didn't know there would be so much turmoil among the ranks of the ones that accepts the invitation of Jesus. But then all through the Bible, especially the New Testament, Old Testament too, but the New Testament, after the day of Pentecost, there was a period of rest. There was a time when there was a period of rest, but then lots of turmoil in the churches. We read about them, and we say that if you don't know your history, you fail to repeat it, but we see our history, and to me, we keep repeating it. Maybe that's what we want. I have been on this YouTube channel for over 5 years, advocating especially for those who are poor, because it's so terrible to not have what you need. I'm not talking about, and I'm not fighting, I'm not advocating for people to just be greedy, to be extravagant. What I'm talking about, people to have a secure life. That's what, I didn't know it would be like this. I thought in Christ, every member would have